Hey ladies, today I wanted to continue our talk on hunger that we began yesterday. The hunger of the victim. Just to recap, it's these levels of consciousness. We feel fear and it's like this top of the slide, and then we slide down in to the circular trap of victimhood. Now, we began in another post yesterday to capture the language of the victim, and I would love if you could keep contributing to that, because the more we expose how it convinces us with its truths, the more we can all be aware and pull away from it. When we hear those thoughts, we can go, no, I'm not going to choose you as my reality. Now, when you read those statements when you're not in victimhood, they're almost laughable. It's like, really? You would choose to create that as your reality? But when we're in it, it feels real. And that's the same with all of these levels of consciousness, every single one of them. When we are in them, they feel incredibly real. And in effect, we're taking the thoughts that get offered from whatever realm that we're in, we're taking those thoughts on and we're making them real by agreeing with them. And it's such a simple truth to understand that, not so simple to pull away from it, and you have to keep reminding yourself of that. So let's look at this hole. Remember our hole that we had that looks like so, and we've got all that dark stuff in it there, and then we start creating some of this stuff here to kind of keep a lid on it. Well, that lives down here. We've talked about that before. But what I want to point out from this world, the victim, what happens is we have this leakage out. Okay, we can't get to the heart because the base chakra and the second and the third chakra are all about how safe and secure we feel in the world. Now remember, if we don't feel secure, we feel insecure. So that's where our insecurities live. And we have this gaping energetic hole. And what we're trying to do is go out there to fill that hole. Fill. Now this goes on from, remember the video I did when I was walking, how we were talking about how the inner child, when it hasn't had that progression through pride and eventually into soul as it matures, it's developmentally delayed and stuck inside of us. And so this ache, this deep, deep ache to be loved and nurtured and found and seen, it lives and it leaks out of here. And of course, we've got this leakage going on, so it's a tendency to just fill, okay? This leakage, this victimhood is just gushing its leakingness, its desperation out. And so another way to look at why we get so hungry emotionally is because it's gushing out, and I'm putting in food as quick as I can to capture to replace what's leaking out of this self-belief, self-identity chakra. So how do we stop that? Well, for starters, we stop doing this and we learn how to feel that pain, that hole, because that is where the freedom is. The freedom is inside that suffering, those beliefs, those stories, that trauma. It's in there. The answer and the freedom is inside of that. And that's where we need to look to stop that hunger and to stop that feeling. All right, so that's enough for you to contemplate today. That's actually really big. You're hearing it at the moment and forming a concept. But what we're aiming for is for that to move from a truth and for you to grasp that and go, oh, that's the energetics of what's happening in my compulsive, disordered eating. So later on, I'm going to be back to talk about this world, which is another huge input or creative factor that compels us into our disordered patterns of eating. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please share them down below. Whatever you're going through, you can rest assured someone else is going through or has been through or will go through. So by us sharing, we're really accelerating each other's journeys. Okay, guys. Mwah. Love you. Bye for now.